Hi, thank you for your question. So, detransitioning actually means something different to everybody, but for me, I've always considered detransitioning when I present completely feminine. As I've talked about, I've detransitioned more than once in life, but it was never because I wanted to. And despite the picture some people try to paint online, most trans people who do detransition do not do it because they want to or because they regret their transition. This, of course, happens, but it's incredibly rare. I started presenting masculine when I was about 16 years old. And when I say I presented masculine, I mean I shaved my head. I was head to toe in male attire. In public, I got recognized as a dude a lot, actually more so than now. I think because back then, trans people weren't as talked about. There wasn't a lot of knowledge surrounding us. So I think that's why back then, like when people saw me, they just presumed I was a dude. I mostly just let people think that I was a lesbian because I didn't even know how to navigate what was going on myself, never mind explain it to others. But I detransitioned, like, I'm not kidding. I would say it was about like 5 times in that period. Just like the 2 year period from 16 and 17, I would say I detransitioned about 5 times or more. And this was for a few reasons. For one, I was really confused. LGBT topics in general were not spoken about. Maybe they were in places like California, Portland, I don't know. But where I live, no. When I did just try to present as a lesbian, it was not received well. So I would have never came out as trans anyways because that would have been honestly really dangerous. I mean, to be honest, it was scary sometimes. Like I definitely wasn't perfect growing up, and some of the mistreatment I got was warranted. I got in my fair share of trouble. I had behavioral issues. I got kicked out of school. But when I came out as a lesbian, it was bad. My family was receiving threats. We couldn't even go to the grocery store without like someone yelling outside of their vehicle like a slur. So that's scary, and it made me feel it did make me feel embarrassed. It did. It made me feel embarrassed that my family had to go through that because of me. It made me just want to present feminine because I felt like maybe it would be easier. And also at this time, like I was raised religious and I was dealing a lot with issues relating to religion. So all of these factors combined, like I was having a rough time and I'd constantly go in and out of the closet. Constantly. I'd present as a dude, as a girl, as a dude. At about 26 years old, I realized that medically transitioning was possible, that it was actually accessible to somebody like me. And so I pursued it, and it is one of the best things that I have ever done. About probably a year and a half later, I had top surgery. Once again, one of the best things I've ever done. About 3 years on testosterone, unfortunately, my liver started to fail. It's good now, knock on wood, but it was doing not good. And that's when I made the decision to engage in my major detransition, what I consider my major detransition, because I was living as a full grown dude for like what, 3.5 years. And boom, I just made the decision to detransition, and it was a huge overhaul, and it was a lot to get used to. I mean, it wasn't like before where I was just like changing my hair or my clothing. My voice was different, my body was different, how I carried myself was different. So it was hard to relearn certain things, and I was very uncomfortable. So that was awful as well. I only lasted a month and a half like that. It was really rough for me, and I'm not back on testosterone. I will never go back on testosterone. And because of that, there's some people in my community and also in the medical field that consider me detransitioned. There are people out there who only consider you like transition or actively transitioning if you are currently on hormones. I am not with that mindset. I know trans men who have full grown beards who have never been on T. But now I just live as male without testosterone. I don't always pass. And it is hard sometimes. Sometimes it does weigh on me. It's something I struggle with. But I have a lot in life that I am very thankful for. Like I'm more thankful my liver, recovered. You know what I mean? So yeah, for me, detransitioning basically means when I just go all out and I present feminine again. Like that's a detransition to me. But like I said, it's different for everybody. I know people who like they're able to present as the gender they identify with outside of work, but at work they can't, or at home they can't. And to them, that's not considered detransitioning. You know what I mean? So everybody has different versions of it. But for me, that's what it means. Thank you.